So about 3 years ago, I came up with the idea to build a studio. One of my coaches had a very nice space. Was traveling to see him quite often, and his space was really nice in terms of the amount of size that he had. I've been, auditioning and learning in a 4x4 closet, and at my size, it was just very congested. So I made a determination that I wanted to build something or build my own, because I couldn't really afford to buy a studio bricks or some type of whisper room. So I came and gutted my basement, tore down ceilings, and found a space over here that was about, and once I measured, it was about 12 by 12 foot space. And I decided to, really just get a corner of the basement and make a studio out of it. So I'm gonna invite you in, take a look at some of the things I've created. You'll be to notice a difference in sound. Hear a lot of reverberation out here, but in here, it doesn't quite sound the same. So I stay near a freeway, and I get a lot of noise from the outside. You may have heard some of it, especially if you are in your studio or if you have on headphones right now. You probably have heard some of the noise that was outside of this space. And as you can see, I don't have a lot of foam everywhere, just in strategic locations to try to minimize the reverb in this space. Inside my walls, it's a 24-inch stud to stud, 24 inches between each stud. They're not double decked, it's just a single wall. But I have MLV that's supported by 2-inch felt wool, and behind that I have perforated cardboard, which through research figured out that it actually helps support soundproofing as well. It's really good for that. Not on its own, but combined with other materials, it's actually really good. If you haven't noticed, there's like a Harry Potter theme going on down here. And when I first built this studio, I didn't have the idea to create anything. It was just I needed to get a studio, I needed to start recording, I needed to really work on my craft. But over time, I started feeling like the place was dead. I wanted to liven it up. And in the process of me trying to liven it up, I decided, hey, I already had this backdrop of Diagon Alley from Harry Potter. Got it from Universal Studios. And I said, well, I might as well just go with the whole theme of Harry Potter. And I'm a Gryffindor, so I claim it. Don't blame me, okay? It's, I didn't pick me. I didn't pick it. It picked me. I've actually handcrafted all of my panels myself. All of my panels have 2 to 2.5 inch felt wool in them. Felt wool has a great NRC level of 0.80. And so it really absorbs a lot of sound. From my each Gryffindor panel, which are 3.5 by 4 feet or 3.5 by 4.5 feet, to my little small one here that have the Hogwarts Castle. Here I even have some felt wool that's hanging behind my flag here, and that's a neat trick I found out as well, is that any type of soundproofing material that's actually hanging from the ceiling actually absorbs way more sound than you think. Even a panel that is directly placed on the wall is not going to absorb as much sound as a panel that you just offset off the wall by an inch or two, because the sound that goes in is going to ricochet and try to come back out. It's going to get trapped in the panel again. So it goes in and comes out twice compared to what it's like when it's flat. Just a neat trick I learned through the years. So that's why you see when you see other studios with a panel that's hanging above, right above where the microphone is, but it's not directly flush against the ceiling, and that's why. Also, I have Zorbathane that's in my ceiling because it's the floor above me, and I have a family. And between my sons and my wife, they walk around even when I'm recording. So at some point in time, I have to get a sign that says, on air or something, right? I have a tendency to record right in this space here. The center of a room is not the best place, but at the same time, if you know how to have proper mic placement, You can kind of navigate around the resonance buildup you would get. I have a couple of focal shape monitors that I use for my mixing. I also use Babyface RME Babyface Pro and a Grace M101 as my mic preamp and my audio interface. And I go back and forth between the both quite often. My mic of choice, I use my Vanguard Audio Labs V13, probably more than anything else. I do have a Neumann TLM 107. I just don't use it as much. I have a Townsend Labs Sphere L22 as well, and I'm a big fan of that also. I just don't use it as much as the V13. It's something about my sound on this microphone. Sounds excellent. With that being said, this is more of a short entry video of my studio. It's a lot bigger than the 4x4 closet I was in. It gives me enough room and liveliness, and it gives me a different vibe, right? Where I enjoy, I can be more creative. When I'm recording, I can gesticulate and actually, really get into character of some of my roles. And I think it's a great place to create the magic.